of all, there is no clerk here. Typically, the clerk would open the meeting up, would procedurally find a moderator, and then the moderator would run the meeting. As there being no clerk, what the law provides is that among yourselves, and I'll kind of guide you through it, you can pick a chairman. That chairman will then open the meeting up and will preside over the picking of a moderator. It seems a little odd, but I didn't write the rules. And then that chairman will swear in the new moderator. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to pick a chairman to take the place of the clerk. So I will entertain motions, suggestions, or anything from the crowd.
For chairman?
For the chairman, not for the moderator, but for the chairman.
I'd say Mr. Perillo.
If there's no other suggestions, we can just do
I'll second it.
we can just do an aye vote. All in favor of Mr. Perillo?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, Mr. Perillo, you can now take over as chairman.
You'll have to help me with this.
And you are township,
I am what?
are you a registered voter in the township?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you're all set.
In the Avon Township, as a
Yes.
matter, yes, right.
I
That's
just
why I'm
want,
here.
I just want to make sure.
Jerry,
Come,
can I take minutes from here?
sure, sure. And actually, if you guys want, you can pick a clerk, a separate clerk, to take minutes for the meeting too.
Say again?
But why don't you come on up?
Okay.
You're now the chairman.
Fine.
Appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
We're happy to
Shall I sit here with this work?
You can sit anywhere you want because it's short term.
Okay, good.
I say that technically you could pick the chairman as moderator, but don't ask me how to interpret that under the law because I don't know how to. So, it's now your job to open up the meeting up. We'll do the pledge of allegiance again, and then we'll go ahead and pick a moderator after that.
Okay, so let's call the meeting to order on Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes.
we need to elect the moderator nominations from the floor.
I'd like to nominate Barb Hoagman, Grace Lake. I live at Grace Lake, 549 Lincoln. I'd like to nominate Kim Kirby to be the moderator.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
There you go. I didn't write the law.
No, that's fine.
Mr. Kirby, would you like to take minutes or would you like me to?
I'd appreciate it if you would.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, hold on, Mr. Perillo.
Yes, sir.
I swear to you. Thank you.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of moderator at this town meeting to the very best of your ability?
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is your signature? Mr. Perillo? Very good.
Who's your daughter?
Mr. Kirby here was my fifth grade teacher too.
That was 5 years ago. All right, the
Your wife will be ready to go.
I get a scepter.
Attorney, thank you very much for the transparency there.
All right, so we're in.
Now we're at number 5, approval of minutes from last year's town meeting, which I have not seen.
They're here. Do I have a motion to approve the previous year's town meeting?
The dates are wrong.
The dates are wrong. What are the, do you have an amendment?
Yes, it says that the meeting was in 2011. It was actually 2012.
Okay.
Last year.
Oh, I see. So as amended, it would read April 10th, 2011. Does that meet?
No, 2012.
I'm sorry.
I didn't see any.
Without the 12.
What are you looking? The minutes are right. Minutes are right.
Yeah. It's just the date that's messed up.
Under meeting minutes, you know.
From the previous year.
I'm sorry, I was wrong.
No, those are approving the minutes for the previous year, that's correct. That's correct, yes.
It is correct. If you want to approve the minutes for this year, we could try and start that off.
I make a motion to approve.
Out of order.
Can you raise your hand who's approving the minutes?
Bob Flannery.
Bob Flannery.
Is there no discussion on these minutes at all?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I'm sorry. We have a motion, we have a second.
Who's the second?
I'll second it.
and
Discussion.
discussion. On a voice vote, all those in attendance, and I was also introduced, but my name somehow is excluded from the board that I was appointed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Also, there was a roll call vote. I think that should be delineated in the minutes.
So you want all the names listed?
I would think that would be appropriate.
There's a list.
Yes.
Any further discussion? Yes?
Yes,
Your name, please.
my name is Barbara Jersey,
Thank
120
you.
Tall Old Kingsville. I'd like to know on item number, should the United States Constitution be amended to limit the use of corporate, special interest, private money, and any political activity, including influencing the election of any candidate for public office, yes or no, where the roll call was 22A? Has that been achieved? Do we ever find out whether or not that was,
We had a roll call vote.
Are you asking about the actual,
yes?
it was put on the ballot? Mr. Kirby, did it passed on the
It
ballot?
passed by 75.3% in Avon Township,
Yes.
the highest in the state of Illinois.
Yeah.
Almost the highest in the nation.
And he knew that right off the top of his head.
Give or take.
And we're lobbying next
Yeah, is there a-
Wednesday down in the state of Illinois to put it on the state ballot for November.
Next Wednesday.
And I will tell you who I lobby for when I go down there. Any other further discussion?
There's just a misspelling of Barb Hoagland's name.
Oh, really?
I couldn't read your writing on the paper, I'm sorry. So how do you spell your name, please?
What'd you call me?
Hoagland.
Oh, H-O-G-M-A-N.
H-O-G?
G-M-A-N.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Any further corrections or discussion? So with those changes, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Okay.
Well, the next one here says clerk shall read supervisor's annual financial statement, and we have no clerk. I guess we would say the chairman would do that, but typically there's a motion to waive that, though.
Can I make a motion to waive the reading of the report?
Do whatever you want.
Yes, I'm making a motion to waive the reading of the report.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second discussion.
Why?
That's the way you go.
Wait, one at a time. I get confused real easy. Whoever made the motion can speak to it.
It's the annual treasurer's report. It's, here. There is a copy of it out on the table. It is 2 pages long, and we'd be here for about 45 minutes if I read it.
There should be, you had some copies, I'm sure that.
Yeah, there's copies out there. If there's not, I'm sure I can get some more.
So it's in the interest of time?
Yes.
Historically, it's waived, but you certainly can read it.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moderator will introduce township board. Seeing that I don't know all the township board people, if they wouldn't mind introducing themselves and telling us your favorite color, we would appreciate it.
Sure. My name is Lisa Rush. I'm the supervisor. I actually have 2 favorite colors, red and blue.
Thank you. Don't be shy, come on.
Bill McNeil.
What's your favorite
Color.
color?
Blue.
If you can't have fun, why be up here?
I'm Mark.
abstain. I have two twins at home, so I haven't really thought about my favorite colors, but theirs are purple.
Douglas Rowe Williams? Blue.
Anybody else that I'm missing?
Mr. Evangelides left, he has put blue.
Okay, thank you. Introducing speakers, Mr. Ditton.
He's gone for the day.
How about introducing the new electees?
It's not on the agenda.
We could do it. I make a motion to introduce the new electees.
You have to do that under public participation.
Oh.
I would have said that if you
I'm
give me a
sorry.
chance.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm used to being a clerk.
Okay. Mr. Ditton's not here,
No.
and that's special. He's I like to see him representing the township.
Not
Thank you.
taking a Dale Carnegie course.
There you go.
On his own money.
You want to say that name? I'll circles in a minute. Mr. Bruss,
I have a report from Mr. Bruss. Would you like me to read the whole thing?
as long as it's brief.
It's not that long. Hold on,
Okay,
let me see
thank
what
you.
it is. It was in here. Do you have it?
No.
I thought I gave it.
There it is.
Yeah, let me read it real quick. All right. Actually, can I defer this to the new upcoming Mr. Highway Commissioner, since Bob has been? Can I have Bob read it? Yes, please.
All right, so Tom's annual report.
Since you did most of the work, right?
Number one, completed storm sewer basin project at the following street locations: Oak Street in Brorson, Hill Court, Orchard Lane, and Wilson Road, and the Shaw subdivision. Number two, on July 1st, 2012, when storms ravaged approximately 20 miles of unincorporated Winfield Township, the Avon Township Highway Department assisted by sending manpower and equipment to clear a huge amount of debris. We did, that was unbelievable, the devastation that they incurred over there. Number three, Lake County Community Development Commission approved roadway improvements, application for recommended funding of $100,000. Number four, award bid to Manaville Construction of Grays Lake for roadway and drainage improvements at North Circle Drive. That just started, by the way. Tentative construction phase is April through July 2013. I think it'll be on hold after that 3.5 inches of rain tomorrow. Number five, installed a much-needed stop sign in Pleasant Hill subdivision at the T intersection of Florissant and Nelson. Number six, annual spring cleanup for unincorporated areas of the township was completed between May 21st and May 25th. Number seven, catch basins, storm sewers, drainage structures, and outfalls were inspected, cleaned, or repaired as necessary for Highway Department MS4 requirements. And number eight, Highway Department assisted the seniors of Carolyn North with the restoration project by chipping trees and limbs. And that's it.
Would you please thank Mr. Bruss for his services and for his efforts?
Absolutely.
And may I make a suggestion for further, if they're gonna have a report and the individual chooses not to come, if their written report would be disseminated to everybody, if that
Sure.
would help facilitate, so next time when we have twice as many people at the annual meeting, they'll be informed. Okay? Thank you. Supervisor Brush, Lisa?
Okay, I don't really have a report, usually Sam does. Sam did this huge PowerPoint. I decided, I had a choice to use that and I decided not to. What I decided to talk to you is about community involvement, because that's what I hope. Several people in my office have said it's a new era. Lisa, you have, and I'm an emotional person, so, but you have the right to bring on a new era, and that's what I hope to do through community service and helping others. Thank you.
Okay. Motion to set annual township meeting, oh good, I can put that in my calendar. April 8th, 2014.
I'm busy today.
Are you? I gotta get a haircut too, but I'm gonna.
So moved.
Yes.
Second.
I
Who
have a
seconded
motion.
it?
Chris Larson, 91 East
Thanks,
Main
Chris.
Drive.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to make an amendment to the motion
Okay.
for it to say at 6:30 PM and/or immediately following the regular township board meeting, Travis Haley of Grays Lake.
I have a motion and a second. Any other further discussion?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
I think that the township meeting should be before the board meeting, so that those of us that have come here for that purpose should have an opportunity to do that without having to wait till after 8 before we can get started.
Travis, would you amend your motion to say that?
I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
I'd like to say that the town hall meeting should be at 6:30 and the board meeting should follow it rather than having it the other way around.
Well, I bring that up because we've had several individuals say before the regular board meeting that we didn't hear when the regular schedule was gonna be, so that's why I brought this up, saying let's amend it to say because usually that's the time for the regular board meetings at 6:30, so.
The
if
town
peop-
hall meeting is supposed to take place at 7 o'clock.
It states in the statute, it has to be at 7.
Okay,
Yes.
Well, anytime
And I
after
have the
6.
statute.
Yeah.
all right, then,
So-
I withdraw my motion.
Wait, Travis, let me understand this. Or let's see if we can solve both problems. Is it the intent of the group here that the annual township meeting should be held first before the regular board meeting? Is that the intent of the body?
Anytime after 6 o'clock.
It's kind of nice.
In other words, to facilitate the community, they may not necessarily need to sit through a regular board meeting, and they can have the annual meeting immediately, and then the board can meet. I mean, does that meet I'm sorry, yes.
Well, it doesn't meet with your, I think the confusion this time was that it was both at the same time. Would it meet your concern for the public if we state that the regular board meeting is at 6:30 and the annual meeting is at 7? That way people would have a
I
choice.
need a motion, ma'am.
I'm asking if that would meet her concern. Does that meet your concern?
Point of order.
It seems that
Point of order, the next board meeting to be scheduled on or about the date of the town meeting that we are discussing right now needs to be voted on by the board in advance of that next meeting. That cannot be set a year in advance, can it?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it is, it's already been
Yeah,
set.
it's
The
already-
town meeting can, but the regular.
No,
board
actually,
meeting-
the regular meeting has already been set. I
Yeah.
said it last month.
They've already done that back in January.
You certainly can direct them to change that, though. You guys are in charge. So you can direct them to
Withdraw.
change it, or direct this meeting to be on either side of that.
Yes.
Point of information.
Yes.
It was stated that by statute, you have to have the town hall meeting starting at 7.
7.
Yes.
Well, actually,
Is that
what
correct?
what the 60 ILCS 120/5 says, at an hour fixed by the electors, but no earlier than 6 PM on the day.
For the town.
Yeah.
Well, so it doesn't make any difference what time.
My point was that somebody suggested that we have the town hall meeting before the board meeting. It was mentioned earlier this evening, so I'm just following up on that and making it a suggestion that we do it that way, that we have the town hall meeting first.
If I may,
I need a stacker. That's, I think this young lady was first.
Right, and my
if
question
you
is
wouldn't
if-
mind, so that the minutes would reflect it, if you would say your name.
It always is my turn.
I guess you're just lucky.
120 Town Walk. So if the statutes say 7 o'clock, so I don't
It says,
understand.
it says after 6.
After 6, but I thought, but what's the 7 o'clock
I have
thing?
it right here in front of me.
What is it?
It says no earlier than 6 PM.
And so there is no 7 o'clock meeting, okay, I just want to establish
60
that.
ILCS 1/40-5.
40.
So there is nothing about a 7 o'clock.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, that's what I want to establish.
Just wants to establish.
In order for us to move forward with
All
the
all townships have an annual meeting at the same, at the same time. What the statute, I am assuming, and far be it from me to be a lawyer, is stating that they couldn't call township meeting at 4 PM in the morning. It has to be 6.
I understand that. I heard 7 somewhere.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
what
I
I'm trying
believe
to
that.
say.
My understanding of this is correct, and Supervisor Rush has already pointed out and corrected me, that the board meetings are set for 6:30 PM. This meeting is set half an hour later. I believe that follows within the acceptable guidelines for a meeting is,
And I don't disagree, disagree
so
with you.
has there been
but-
a second to his amendment of the initial motion?
Well, if I may, the reason why I brought this up is because there is precedence to this, because just earlier today, the Lake County Board met at around, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and they had their say for the Forest Preserve meeting within 15 minutes after their regular board meeting, and it usually says, and I know it's online, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Dietz, saying that it'll be at 11:30 PM, I'm sorry, 11:30 AM and/or immediately following the regular county board meeting.
That is typically how they do that,
Then that's essentially what I'm trying to make a motion to, so that way people do not get confused, because as I heard earlier today, several individuals were saying that they were confused about that, they thought it was gonna start at 6:30, not at 7. That's why I'm saying, let's say it, because as you said yourself, we can't start this thing until no later than 6 PM. Most people, I'm sorry, no earlier than 6 PM. Gives people ample time and time to know, and if by whatever unforeseeable thing happens, the township board can always change the date on that if necessary. Am I not correct?
yeah.
Right.
So let me,
That's why I brought this up, so that way people could understand for next year.
so let me understand your motion.
You withdrew it.
Let me understand your motion. The motion is that the annual meeting will begin at 6:30.
Didn't you withdraw?
Am I correct in that?
I was about to withdraw my motion, but continue to.
And I forgot what it was.
And yes, that is essentially what I am saying, that the town hall meeting
Right.
will start at 6:30 PM and/or immediately following the regular township board meeting.
No, that's
want
not.
that.
Before, you wanted to start before.
Well, this one lasted until 8:10, so
I don't have a second to that
Okay,
motion.
then I withdraw my
Okay, thank
motion
you.
because we don't
The
have
lady,
consensus.
the lady just wants to be able to come to the town hall meeting and leave before
Right.
the regular meeting. Because
Understood.
she doesn't want to sit here and board with all the stuff that goes on.
Understood. Oh, I didn't think it was boring. I'm glad I'm attending every one from now on. Unless I need to get a haircut.
I'd like to move that the annual meeting is at 6:30.
Killed for this one.
And I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. I may understand the meeting is that the annual township meeting will begin at 6:30.
Yes.
Okay,
Period.
And nothing about that.
And nothing about the regular meeting.
No,
Yep.
the board can set their time.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
Has there been a ruling on the initial motion to a 7 o'clock meeting yet? There was an initial motion for setting the
That was
town meeting at
withdrawn.
7 PM.
I thought that was withdrawn.
No,
That was his secondary motion to amend it.
No.
The initial motion was brought forth and seconded, if I'm
So who
correct.
motioned, Jeannie motioned it, and who seconded it?
He's talking about the.
Wait,
The initial
there's a point of order.
Is- are there
Wait,
any
there's a-
other
Yes, this is a
Yes,
point
I
of order.
understand that.
There was a motion that was made on the floor for the 7 o'clock as stated on the agenda. There was a second to that motion.
Right,
There was an amendment to that motion that was withdrawn.
okay.
No vote was taken and any motion has been presented.
Correct.
Okay,
We
so-
need to resolve the
still got
initial
the
motion
motion.
before we can present a new
Absolutely,
one.
absolutely. So Travis, if I understand this and correct me, I'm sorry, Travis.
No, I'm wanting to.
As I understand it, the Travis's motion, if I knew, as I understand it, I'm sorry?
I was about to say, can we have some order?
Sure,
Because he's trying to speak here.
thank you. I don't usually get that respect. Travis's motion was to have the annual meeting after the regular meeting. So if you wish, if you do not agree with, correct me if I'm wrong, Travis. If you do not agree with your vote would be no. If you agree with having the annual meeting after, as we did today, then your vote would be yes. And at preceding that, if that motion, am I correct, Chris? I'm sorry, you.
No, I think the motion, Chris is
No,
right,
I thought he
there's a
withdrew
motion on the
his
floor for
motion.
7
Yes,
o'clock.
but I withdrew my.
Okay, I was just ruling on his point of order. I thought he withdrew it. So
Correct, he had withdrawn his motion, there was a subsequent motion that.
well, if the clerk would read back that motion, I'd
I
appreciate it.
have so confused by this one, I don't even know what it says. I have that Travis said one, and then it's, I have that he withdrew it. And then I have that, I heard Chris, but I did not hear what he said, and then I heard that somebody else withdrew, and then Jeannie made a motion, so I am confused,
So the motion,
completely
Okay,
confused.
if the initial motion was withdrawn,
Yes.
then by all means, Jeannie, proceed, sorry. I will allow the moderator to make that determination.
Jeannie, you have it that it's 6:30 annual meeting?
Right.
Okay. Who's seconding Jeannie?
Barb.
so I have a motion and a second. Is there?
We better not be more discussion.
Kick you out of here. I have a motion and a second to have the annual meeting start at 6:30. And then the board would proceed, or however they wish to do that. Is there discussion?
Call for the question.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Other businesses as necessary. Do I have anything from the people of Avon?
We can only speak to the public participants.
I'm sorry? Oh,
Well, officially, oddly enough, the statute says that he needs to announce, is there any other business to come before the board? And then,
And that would be at this time, like when he presented his, like last year, his question, it would be under that point?
no, everything, they changed the law, everything that the group votes on now needs to be on the agenda, so if everybody else wants to speak or bring any other business before the board, nothing can get voted on at this point, just because they changed the law a couple years ago.
Wait, so
say again, Jerry, so this is.
If it's not on the agenda, you can't vote on it. So you can certainly discuss anything you want, you can bring in your business to the board. You can also, if something's brought up, we can set another special meeting
Right.
for what you bring up, but you just can't vote on anything
Right.
substantial unless it's just voting to put it on a special meeting.
Okay, so I would have one, within the requirements. I'd like to direct the township level.
wait, doesn't that come under public participation?
According to Mr. Dees.
Oh. Damn boy.
Is he an attorney or not?
Well, you certainly just announce, is there any other business comes before the board, and then this is where the public participation comes in. You guys add what you want, you just can't vote on it. If it's something substantial, you have to have another meeting to vote on anything that you bring up. But you can certainly bring anything up.
Okay.
I understood what he meant.
But
I didn't write the rules.
okay, but let me make a clarification. If the body wishes to put, or have a discussion, can we have a show of hands if that needs to be further developed in a special meeting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Or just another point of clarification, since Mr. Denton and Bruss weren't here, is there an exception to, that we didn't follow the agenda because they weren't here? So,
No, I'm just saying you can't, I'm not gonna let you vote on anything unless it's on the agenda.
So we can propose all
So you can propose.
Sure. And even if you did vote on it, people don't follow my advice all
Okay, so do I?
So then, yeah.
sure. I'd like to direct the township elected officials to enact a citizens advisory board by June 1st, 2013.
Without voting, but can I have a show of hands who would like to see an advisory committee set up of registered voters? Okay. So, let the record show that, the citizens wish to have an advisory board. Any others?
Mr. Kirby,
Yes.
I did not write all of the names down of the people who raised their hands. Do you want me to write down all of their names?
Unless there's a roll call vote. no.
Okay, all right, thank you. Majority.
It's just a consensus, not a vote.
Right.
You can't direct the township to do anything, but certainly I'm sure they've taken that under advisement, and if they don't do
Okay.
anything, there are procedures to have a special meeting, which you can do that.
Any other further?
I would like to see Avon Township adopt the city of Chicago's position on small amounts of marijuana.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion.
Can't vote.
I have a proposal, and the citizens will speak. Is that something the citizens would like the Avon, to proceed on?
I don't, I have the powers of the electors right here, I don't believe that falls under their powers. It might, if they had their own police department, which some townships could, I don't believe that falls under the powers of the township.
But Bob, you could put that on an advisory referendum for the next township meeting. Yes?
I would also like to see by June 1st, 2013, for the board to consider having 2 meetings a month. One, especially for expenditures, anything to be expended, you would discuss it once, and you would have to discuss it once before you could vote on it. So you would come back and discuss those at a second meeting. Just as the school board does, for example, normally.
Travis?
May I ask a point of clarity, if I could? Trustee Williams, are you asking for a committee as a whole?
Yeah, thank you, right. Yeah, yes.
All right, I just wish.
No, thank you.
So,
Just asking for a point of clarity.
Yes, no, thank
Yes.
you. And that would allow for public input before a vote was taken, so it wouldn't be at the same meeting that it was discussed. Yeah, thank you.
so does the body wish to proceed on that? I keep saying I want to vote, but is that
Want
something?
a show of hands? Is that-
A show of hands of those that wish to proceed on that? Those that don't? Well, I think that, for the lack of better words, that the body wishes to direct that at to explore that at further meeting. Are there any others? Yes, Ms. Holtman?
Oh, I would like to direct the township elected officials to perform a forensic audit by an impartial auditor to be completed by July 1st, 2013 or sooner.
By when?
July 1st, 2013 or sooner.
Now, there actually should be 2 audits being done already by a third
There's an audit
impartial
going on
party.
right now.
One, when Supervisor Yingling resigned, the board directed an audit, and then the annual audit, which
Is it a
should be in the-
forensic audit?
well,
Fine tooth comb.
it's the audit that's required by the state.
Who hired the person? I mean, is it a friend of a friend?
The board hires I don't know who the auditor is personally, but the board hires the auditor.
The auditor's been auditing his books probably, and he does, I know for sure Fremont and Lake Phillip Township also. Yeah, I think he does at least, I know, 3 townships, and he's probably been, don't quote me, probably 7, 8 years anyway, auditing the township books.
The current board did not hire him.
Yeah.
When is that audit to be completed and
Same
targeted for completion?
It's in the process of being done right now. I believe it will be done within the next couple of weeks. and then we will put it on an agenda. If you wanna call me tomorrow, I can tell you exactly when it will be completed.
Here, a point of information, there are two types of audits. There is an audit that is required by the state in order for the books to be done. There is also a forensic audit. A forensic audit is a deeper, more analysis on the budget, including not just expenditures to see if they balance or if they're, if the funds all work out, but it talks about the integrity of which those funds have been spent. So a forensic audit is a common term for a very specific kind of audit, from my understanding.
Then I would suggest that, if you really wanna go forward with that, that you put it on a special meeting and then take a formal vote at a special meeting. And, it probably falls within the powers here, it's not listed specifically, but I guess.
It is in the budget.
Just as a discussion point, I'm sorry to interject. July 1st is approximately 70 or so days from today. The completion of a regular audit is usually between 45 and 60 days. To complete an audit of this detailed record would certainly take longer. I think that date is a little bit earlier, but I would agree with asking the board to consider discussion of that at the next meeting.
Then I would like to amend my
We're
request.
not taking a vote, we're just directing
Well,
you have a comment.
It doesn't have to be by July 1st, 2013 or sooner. It could be in August, for instance, 2013 or sooner.
Yes.
Then I'd like to go back to my original statement. I'd like our elected officials here to go back and review our accounting system and pick one. Pick an accrual system or pick cash basis. Right now, we've got an ACBOA. It's a hybrid. Even accountants can't make it. Yeah, it's pretty useless stuff. So I think that we need to go through this process as we're looking forward.
So, let's understand, we have a question that we would like a further discussion at a special meeting to have a forensic detailed audit. Then we would entertain your question and have at a special meeting, entertain the accrual and the what? Cash. Okay, so, could I see a show of hands of the registered voters of Avon who wish to suggest that we have a forensic audit of the those that oppose that? Okay, I think that should be put on the agenda for a special meeting.
Are we talking about a special meeting of the?
Township.
The board
No.
or the annual meeting?
No, as I understand the code, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the people can call a special meeting, and I would suggest that these items at that special meeting would be voted on at that meeting.
By the residents?
By the people.
And is that, attorney, is that binding on the board?
It's binding if it's on the agenda and you vote on it. At this point, it's not binding because it's not on the agenda.
But
So,
if there were a special meeting and we voted on it, would that mean the board would have to do it?
yes.
Yes.
So that what the agenda would read for the special meeting would be all the points that have been brought up here and have to be delineated on the agenda, and then the pros and cons would vote on it from there.
Okay, thank you for
Yes.
clarification.
And just for us novices, what is the procedure for calling a special meeting? And what
We'll
kind
do it
of,
at the end.
what kind of
We'll do it
public, okay?
Right,
We'll do it at the end.
There's two ways to do it. One way is right here. Another way is by 15 of the electors, is what you're called, registered voters in Avon Township, get together and they sign kind of like a petition that says we want a special meeting on this day, here's the stuff we want on the agenda.
But we can set it up now.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else that we'd like to see on a special meeting? Yes.
Hi, I'm Kathy DeGurl, Grays Lake, Illinois. On the subject of communication, which Lisa talked about, I'd like to direct the elected officials to do 2 newsletters per year, which sounds like it's gonna be happening.
Yep.
Quarterly reports on the webpage on township activities, services, and upcoming events and/or meetings. This would include dates of the Citizen Advisory Board and topics discussed. Period.
Okay, is there any discussion on that?
Can I actually answer that one? My actual goal is to get people to sign up as an email, like an email update. They can click on, sign up for this and get an update, and I was thinking of doing a monthly, would that work for you? A monthly update of what is happening at the township.
And I don't disagree with you, Lisa, but if there's a special meeting and the people vote on this, then your good intentions will also be locked, for the lack of better words, don't get me wrong, be locked in that this is the things that I intend, that are happening. If I'm correct, if the body wishes to put that on a special meeting, please raise your hands. Opposed?
Abstain.
Yes.
I know we talked, or Lisa mentioned this before, but as long as we're gonna have a special meeting, I would like that the township post the proposed budget on their website 30 days before the meeting that they have to vote on it, and then the approved budget be placed on the website within 30 days of it being approved. And the reason I'm saying that is the only budget that's on the website as of today is 2011-12. So they're already a year behind. So that's why I think that if we make this a little more formal, that it would ensure that this would happen annually.
Wait. It's trying to eliminate the side conversations, please. Okay, so is there discussion on that?
It's pretty cut and dry.
Those in favor of putting that possible on a special meeting, please raise their hand. Registered voters, thank you. Anything else? Wait, Dancing with the Stars is coming up. Yes.
I guess this would fall under the special meeting category, but I'd like to direct the township elected officials to have the clerk maintain a logbook that notes the times and days that the supervisor, highway commissioner, assessor, and clerk are in the office, and that the log is given to the trustees at monthly township meetings for their review. So I'd like to, as long as we're gonna get into a forensics, have the possibility of going to a forensics audit, this would be necessary.
I think Bill McNeil has a comment to make about that. As an elected official, I don't think you, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think, once you get elected, you won't get reelected if you don't show up, but I don't think
That's not true.
I don't think it's state law that they can, like you're saying, punch a clock. I don't know if they can do that. Jerry, maybe you know better than I do, but,
Well, there's a
I mean, they
difference-
should be here, but I mean, to do that, I don't know, but.
There's a difference between the state law and the power of electors. I don't know that that falls under the powers of the electors either. Again, once this is put on agenda for a special meeting, I would have a formal opinion as to whether you actually have the power to do that or not. And I really don't think you do, but maybe you do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something to look into.
I mean, you're not making them show up, you're just taking a log of when they were here.
Yeah.
Right, we're not requiring that, but I will take issue with that, because I've called this office for certain elected officials and for some help or some assistance, and only to be told that days after day after day, they were not here. So we do elect officials who do not show up in this building, and they do not and in my opinion, if they are not here in this office when they should be during the normal working hours, day after day after day, they cannot represent us. How can they represent us?
I'm not arguing.
Yes,
Well,
but yet the general public does not know that.
Wait.
That's my
I
discussion,
understand.
it's just,
I
all we're having here is a
You have a
discussion.
comment?
I have a comment only because it came up as an election position, that people would be full-time in the office, and the only position that is not considered full-time is the clerk's position. She's only paid as a part-time person, and, the salary is based on the work to be into the township on a daily basis. That's why they get the salaries.
So, let me, I don't know, Travis, just.
Yes, sir.
Let me, my boss used to call me sir. Let me understand the position. The log is there to facilitate, or so that the electorate can see when the township or whomever is in attendance. And they may be at a senior citizens, and I mean, those things can be delineated in that. That's the only, if I understand it. Now, if there's a legal question, then at that special meeting, then we'll find, you guys will find out, because I'm getting tired up here. Then you know, so if that's the pleasure of the body, please raise your, all Avon registered voters, please raise your hands.
If
Oh, I'm
I-
sorry, Travis, my fault, I'm sorry.
I'll be very quick here, I
That's
promise,
okay.
Kim. With all due respect, last fall, as I recall, it was either August or September, please correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, the board was going to vote to dramatically reduce the salary for themselves. I'm not talking about staff, but for themselves. But there were certain members of the board, who I will not name, because I'm not going to do any name calling, decided not to do that. I just thought I should bring that up.
And I don't mean to debate. I shouldn't be doing that.
Right, and I don't, and that has, if the public officials decide upon themselves and take it upon themselves to reduce their salaries, that is one separate thing from how we as a public hold them accountable to be present for what we elect them to do. I think that's two different things.
And then the question I would have to the body is, how without a log, how do we get that information? Yes?
I just have a quick question. Since we're not really voting on anything tonight, can't we just collect all these ideas and don't have to show a raise of hand, yeas or nays? Just collect all these ideas and then bring them up in this special.
And I would disagree with you, but there may be a possible question that is so egregious that the body wouldn't even want to entertain that. So that's the only reason I think we need to facilitate the discussion.
Can we see a
Any others?
consensus?
I'm sorry.
Can we see a consensus to make sure that the
That's
item
put on the special meeting?
Yes, to put it on the special meeting?
Call question.
Those that would like to see that put on the special meeting, please, all registered voters of Avon, please raise your hand. So be it. Are those opposed? I'm sorry. You're opposed?
No, I'm not opposed. I want to talk.
Okay.
I want to talk.
What else?
And that's the last time I asked for your permission.
Tell me about it. Go on.
I'd like to request a special meeting called after the new officers are sworn in to discuss the items brought up in the public comment per Article 30.
Excuse me, I just, before you do that, I just want to make sure that there are no other questions that people wish to entertain. Back there first, and then here.
Oh, George first, go ahead. George Zubenstein, Haynesville. I'd like to suggest that the board entertain the idea of having a zero-based budget?
And can you,
Zero-based budget means, to those who may not know,
Yes.
you start from zero. You don't take what
You
was
spend like-
spent last year and then add to it. You start from zero and look at every line item to see whether it's really required or not. And that way, you have a more succinct budget, and you don't have overruns and additions that aren't necessary.
can I ask a question? How would that, if you, with that idea, how would you, if there's emergencies, I mean, like a flood or something like that, how would that,
Well, you
would
can
you build that in?
You can put it in the budget.
Oh, I
You
see.
just start from zero. You don't start from what you did last year.
Everything.
And then you have to
everything's-
justify each
Oh, I see.
item that's on there to see whether it's worth or not.
Okay.
But you can't have a line item for emergencies.
You're essentially saying pay as you go, pretty much.
Yeah.
No.
No, George, are you suggesting this for operating budgets, capital expenditure budgets, or both? Because there is a significant difference in the way you budget for those.
No, basically an operating budget.
And there's also a general assistance fund that this body would have no control over.
Yeah, well, but I'm just suggesting that the board look at that, because it'll tighten up the way you manage your affairs.
What's the pleasure of the community? All registered voters of Avon, please raise your hands, please signify by saying, with your hands raised. Those opposed? To be put on the budget, on the special meeting, yes.
This would go more to what maybe everybody could agree on, which you'll probably do again, Mr. Kirby.
What?
We'd like to direct the elected officials to create a 4-year strategic plan to include the municipalities. And that way, we could really track the progress of that strategic plan, and maybe that'll hold full-time elected officials accountable, because they'll have to come back periodically and report on the accomplishments of the strategic plan and help with expenditures as long as they fall into that strategic plan.
Would that suggestion be that it would be reviewed every 3 months? the
Yeah, we could do it
strategic
quarterly,
plan?
sure.
But, and who would have input into that strategic plan?
I think the advisory committee should be involved, like we did with the school board. Everybody, we opened it up to the community. And we broke it into categories, and whoever had an expertise or something in finance or community services could weigh in on it, and that's how you came up with the strategic plan.
Okay. Any discussion? What's the pleasure of the body of those Avon elected officials? Please raise their hands. Those opposed? Your hands are going up, there's only 4 or 5 of you now, and the rest, were you guys getting tired?
I vote present.
Okay.
That's my answer.
I'm sorry?
I vote present because I don't know the full details.
Okay, well, I think at the special meeting, then that would be forthcoming. Anything else? Yes.
I direct the township elected officials from each department to give a monthly report, in person, written and oral, read it out loud to us at public board meetings, to include the actions of the department, upcoming actions, and budget implications. This would include number of people requesting service or seeking support within the month, and any outside activities attended by the department. Supervisor does a good job of that. The departments, but the other departments, highway department, all the departments would be included, our highway department, assessor, clerk, supervisor, food pantry, and advisory board. From the clerk's office and supervisor's office, any FOIA request would be included.
You can't state the information on the FOIA request in public. Who gives
Right,
the
right,
FOIA?
with
Did
the
you
school
say
board
the
does.
number
Yes, you can.
requested? The number requested?
That would, yeah.
School board does.
Okay, I'll tell you, in 2011, there was 1.
2011.
Was the board apprised of that?
What?
Was the board of trustees apprised of that?
I believe so.
Okay.
And in
2013, 11.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the body? Those all Avon registered voters, please raise their hand. Those opposed? Okay, anything else?
It's gonna be a long meeting.
Yes, I would like to have the board consider charging whoever brings up petition contestations for any fees associated with that, so that the people of the township do not have to pay those expenses.
Well, I can tell you right off the top of my head that the state law controls that. We have no
Can we
discretion.
publish the information on how much the cost was and
That is public
along-
information already.
along with the name of the persons, people involved in contesting those?
That is all public information right now.
Does that person have to be, this isn't anything I thought out previous to this, but now that it's brought up, does that person, is it out of this jurisdiction to make that person be at least present during that contestation?
There are set rules set by the electoral board that we have no control over.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, does that satisfy you, Bob? I know it doesn't satisfy you, but it's legal. So I'm not gonna argue.
I'm not saying you can't put it on the agenda, I'm saying that when it comes,
Yeah.
if it's on
It's
the
a waste
agenda,
of
I'm going
time,
to
right.
advise you that you don't have the power to do that.
I'm okay.
Yes,
As part of the strategic planning process that Mr. Williams is talking about, I think a piece of that should be that our elected officials develop a plan which coordinates Avon efforts with intergovernmental agencies. That meaning the 7 Avon municipalities, the county, the state, especially the 62nd district, IDOT, SWALCO, and the Mill Creek Watershed Association. We're all involved with these different agencies, and recent attending at some of these meetings showed no representation at all from Avon Township. And with a projected 23% increase in population in the next 15 years in our area, we need to be at these meetings, so that should be part of our strategic plan.
so would it, can we just add that to the full agenda? May I make a strong suggestion to, if you brought something up for the special meeting, you better damn well be here to speak to it.
I will definitely second that.
Now, how do we set a
Excuse me,
date?
take that out of the minutes, please.
How do we set a date?
Okay. Got another one?
Can't set a
Okay.
date. You can't set a date.
This doesn't need a special meeting, it needs action now. The county dial-a-ride materials are not consistent with Avon Township materials. The costs, the times, the dates. Avon residents, especially seniors, are at risk of being stranded or unable to ride due to lack of correct fares. This needs to be straightened out. So our stuff doesn't match up with pace.
I don't know if we can act on that.
Can I answer on, are you talking about our PACE bus?
Yeah.
Okay, our PACE bus is in line with PACE of
No,
what,
the grant that you have, it's not, you're supposed to be open from 6 to 5, and you are.
no, the hours are, no,
Yes,
no.
that's, I saw a copy of the grant, and that's what it says.
No,
And you're not doing
It's
it.
like 9:53 or something like that.
No,
Okay, I mean,
No,
there's
it's not, and
a
we're still
divergence
under
of
your
opinion
original
here,
grant, Shirley.
you know,
It needs to be
work
looked
that out
into.
among ourselves.
Good attitude.
I don't know, I don't think this is the forum. If there is a discrepancy that you see, then it needs to be brought to the attention of those in charge. I don't think this is the proper forum to bring that, and I apologize if that doesn't meet your, you know. Is there anything else?
Then I would like to say my last word. I'd like to direct the request that the special meeting be called after the new officers are sworn in to discuss the items brought up in the public comments per Article 30, Annual Towns Meeting, Section 30-10, Part C, which allows for us to request a special meeting,
Which is what we've been talking about.
which is what we've been talking about, but I want it on the record,
So-
please.
So the annual meeting that you're speaking of is at your
Special
date?
meeting.
Special meeting, do you have a date?
After May 20th is when the new board takes place, so I will leave it up to the new board to set that meeting as soon as they can work it into a schedule, which I assume will be
Does the board meet on Tuesday?
Monday.
What she's calling for is a special meeting, a special township meeting by statute.
To answer all these questions.
To address these issues.
And having the town board set that meeting.
Yes, right, yeah, that's what the statute says, I believe that they have to set the meeting.
Well, technically, you could petition.
Yeah, we can petition, right, but we're not.
Do you have a concern?
No, that allayed my concern, thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Can we have it on a Monday that, since the board normally meets on a Monday? 'Cause I
That
think-
would be the prerogative of the new board.
Yeah. The statute says in the board says.
Anything else? I just want to make a quick statement. Thank you for your participation. I'm available to chair any meetings on Tuesday through Thursday. Just call me and I'll be glad to do that. Anything else?
What's your favorite color?
You did a great job.
You did.
Meeting is. No, you haven't adjourned yet.
Yeah, and hit the water bottle.
Wait. Sit down. Wait.
Yay.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Do we have a second?
Second.